Hello, and welcome to the Drop a Stitch podcast.
I'm your host, Danny.
And I'm your other host, Nathalie.
And today we're talking about how knitting and crochet can be for anyone at any age.
Yes. But before we get started, how was your week?
It was good. I started my basement/office renovation and I have made a lot of progress, so I'm very excited.
Yes, this is the room that we're in, guys. It's a little bit empty, so if it sounds a little bit extra echoey today, that's why.
So I'm super, super excited. And if you know me a little bit, when I get excited about something, I also get very, very impatient.
Like patient or impatient?
Impatient.
Okay, yeah.
Like I need
I was
things.
going to say you're not patient.
Oh, no, not at all. Like I need things done right away.
Yeah.
I am dying waiting for the flipping whatever that is to dry.
The varnish.
Or
the stain.
The
stain you have on right now.
Yeah.
I got here and she was like, how many coats of varnish do I need? And I'm like, 3 or 4. And she's like, I was going to do 1 and call it a day. And I'm like, you might want to do 3 or 4.
Oh, man. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it just because I want it done right.
Yeah, so it lasts.
Yes, exactly. So it's, like you said, it lasts and it also looks good. And I didn't pay that much money for wood nowadays to,
have it be ruined.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm very excited about that, getting things done and just working with that. I'm super excited. And it's also like I need to get it done because it's my office. So I need the space to work and to have my yarn and to be able to create content and all of that. So it's kind of like I need to get it done kind of thing. But yeah, it's been exciting. The weather was beautiful this week.
Oh my God, it was so nice.
I know. It was
Ice storm
amazing.
followed by summer.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Skip spring for
I know.
a second here, Ottawa.
It was so hot one day that we were like, should we turn on the AC?
Yeah, literally.
I was like, it's still covered. Like, I don't think we can turn it on right now, but we were so close to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, now it's going down a little bit.
No, it's a normal spring.
Yeah, normal spring.
We've got rain and we've got 10 degrees.
Yeah.
Celsius, if you guys are listening from the States.
Yeah.
Because it's not the same.
I don't understand Fahrenheit.
I don't either.
How was your week?
It was good. We're working on the house, as I've mentioned before, and I'm going to keep mentioning every single week from now on.
Until you're done?
Till we're done, because we have a deadline, baby.
Yeah.
And so we have to finish up the house and move before baby comes. And this week, actually, will be the halfway mark. On Friday, I switched to 20 weeks. And so that's the halfway mark. So I'm kind of starting to stress out and freak out about everything that's left that I have to do, but we're just going to pretend that it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I spent a lot of my week working on that. Finished baby's dino.
It's so cute as she's showing.
I'm showing it. Guys can't see it, but I just sewed the tag on. So yeah, finished baby's dino. I'll post some pictures on Instagram.
It's so
at
cute.
some point.
Yeah.
And then so now I can go back to focusing on rainbow blanket.
Because you need to finish that.
Yes. So the plan is to use that to do the announcement on Instagram and Facebook, and we're waiting to to officially put it on social media. Everybody that we know knows, and
you don't see that often,
that listens to our podcast knows. But we're gonna do that, and so I wanted to have the rainbow blanket done for that. So I have 2 weeks, so I'm on a deadline.
Yeah.
So we'll see if I get that done.
It's so cute. I can't.
But little baby dino is done. So now we're missing the blanket.
I love how the head, it's like chubbier. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Because I pack it fairly tight with stuffing, so it stays. But yeah,
it's so cute.
So that was my week.
We have 2 things to tell you guys. The first is that we have upgraded again a little bit, a $20 upgrade.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be like $150 each or something.
Wait, wasn't that the price though? We checked and it was
it might not have been the same one though.
I didn't even see one that was like 80 anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Anyways, the first time we looked for this, what we're talking about is a support for our microphones.
Well, it's called
because
arm tripod, something like that.
Something like that.
For the
So
microphone.
it allows us to basically put the support is like attached to the desk, and our microphone is screwed into it. And it's basically like, I guess a desk clamp would be the best way to describe it. Like you can move it up, down, pull it forward and back. And so we can kind of move the mic perfectly to the perfect distance. And which means it's not on a shelf makeshift table over piles of boxes and stuff so that it can be the proper height. That was preventing us from knitting. So now we actually have like
the whole
full access to knit and crochet.
I'm so excited because I am, finishing my not finishing, but working on my blanket. It's a new blanket that I'm making. I am getting a little bit known as the chunky blanket lady kind of thing on Instagram. So I'm like, you know what? People are enjoying the blankets that I'm making. They're easy. They love it. I'm going to continue making. I'm just going to keep making more. So,
guys, I feel proud of myself. Danny used to not like blankets. She used to only like baby blankets because she was like, they're quick. They're quick. They're easy. Big blankets? No, thank you. And I was like, give me all the big blankets. I don't think I've ever made a baby blankets. All I've made is like massive, like throw-sized blankets that I can like snuggle under.
Yeah.
And I love them. And then he was like, it takes way too long. Like, I can't believe you're doing this. And now that she's tried it and used one to snuggle under, she's obsessed.
Oh,
and
my
all
God.
she's making are big blankets. And I feel like I influenced you in that direction.
100%. I really, really like the big blankets because I have made so many baby blankets for my kids. And yes, they use them, or I make them use them, but not all of them. And some of them are really, really nice. And I'm like, I just want this for myself. Yeah. So I'm like, screw this. I'm just going to start making blankets for myself. And even if that takes me 2 weeks, well, it's taking me a little bit longer because I'm using a smaller hug than what I usually do, or what I usually use.
No matter how long it makes you, it's a blanket. It's good forever.
Yeah. And I want to have like 2 or 3 in every single room. So, I still have a way to go.
You still have a ways to go.
Yeah. But the other thing that I wanted to mention is that we have officially put I can't talk today. Okay. We officially have a date for the starting of the Market 101 series.
Yes. We had a little planning meeting before our podcast because basically, guys, we're not organized. I show up here on Mondays. I play with Danny's kids. She puts them to bed. And then we're like, okay, what do we talk about today? And then cue little panic of going through our notes app where we have a list of ideas and then debating which one we feel like doing, whether we want to be fully detailed or an easy one or whatever.
Yeah. Well, so what happened, sorry to interrupt you. So what happened is that we had a list with a lot of episodes and we already went through most of them.
Yeah.
So before it was easy, we were just
it's still easy, but the episodes that are left are longer episodes or episode where like on our end we have to do a little bit of research before we could like fully talk about it or like ask for feedback or whatever, and we haven't done it. So every time we're like, oh yeah, maybe not this one today. And so most of the episodes that are left on our list are actually the market series.
Yeah.
So last week we're like, let's just take a second next week and make a calendar for ourselves so we know how many episodes we will have in the market series because there's a lot to cover. And then let's work. We figured we should be done the market series by the end of July so that you guys, it's useful for you to prep for next fall and winter's market. And obviously the topics are going to be in order of what you need to know for the markets. And so like the last topic is like takeaways from your market and like what to do after,
Yeah.
And so you don't need those right away, but So we're going to put them in order. But basically, we have to start, what was it? In
May
3
10th?
weeks from now?
In 3 weeks. So we're starting the Market 101 series.
We have this episode 2 more,
weeks.
and then it's going to be the Market 101 series.
Yes. It's going to be so fun. We have already written everything, most of it, and we have planned every single episode, what we're going to be covering, and I'm just so excited because, like I said to you guys before, I have been doing markets for, I don't know, probably 6 years or 7 years.
And like you've done like 20 something a year, like at some points. When I first met you, like it was markets every single weekend.
And listen, I already have another, we might have to start 2 weeks before.
Why?
I mean, not 2 weeks before. I already have another episode idea.
Okay.
As like our experience with the markets.
Yeah, we can do that after though.
How we started, and you think?
Yeah.
Okay, but that's still okay. So like after the series.
After the series, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because
but you guys like quickly. Danny has a ton of experience, and I started doing markets last year for the first time.
Yeah.
So you get both sides. You get the fully experienced and the newbie.
Yeah, and I did all the markets that you can imagine, the markets that were, bring a table, it's free, and the markets that it's like thousands of dollars to get in. So I feel like I have a lot to say, and I'm just so excited to share all the information because I have learned so much throughout the years. And I know for all of you that are starting doing markets, the information we have, it's very
it's going to be
valuable.
Basically, everything we're going to tell you is all the questions I've also asked Danny before I started my doing markets for the first time last year. I was like, Danny, what do I do with this? Danny, how do you do this?
Yeah.
Danny, what do I need? And she would just give me all the information. So we're going to pass that along.
Yeah. So yeah, we're starting in 3 weeks, and it's going to last all half May, June, and July.
Yeah.
So every single week, you're going to have a different episode and a different topic with the Market 101. Yeah. So it's going to be so fun.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But let's get into today's episode.
Let's get into today's episode.
Which was?
Stop.
Danny asked me like 3 times before the episode, what are we talking about again? Wait, what are we talking about?
Okay, what was it though?
How knitting can be
for anyone at any age.
There you go.
I was just trying to see if you were paying attention.
Yeah, sure, Daddy. That's what you say.
Okay, so the first is how you started. So how did you start?
We kind of talked about this before.
Yeah.
How I started knitting and crocheting. I needed a hobby. I walked through Michael's because, I mean, if you want to pick up a hobby,
that's the place to go.
Clearly, you go to Michael's.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys in the States, maybe Joanne, same thing.
Yeah.
But you just basically
or Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, you go to a craft store of some kind, and then you walk through, and then you find stuff. And I was like, okay, if you know this about me, if you go shopping with me, and you can ask Eric this, it's kind of funny. I touch everything that is like soft, like has the possibility of being soft. Like if I'm in a clothing store, I'm just like touching textures, touching materials.
Oh, 100%.
If I'm like, I mean, I'm not going to touch like vases and whatever because like, I don't care. That's
well, some
I know
of them,
the feeling
they have
of
texture.
Yeah, but not so much. Like mostly soft, cozy things. I just touch everything. I like texture. I like softness.
That sounds so you.
Yes. And so I went to Michael's. So obviously the section that drew me was yarn because I was like, squishy, soft. This is fun. And then, I tried on my own. I felt, well, my mom had taught me how to knit, but I couldn't figure it out because I kept thinking that I dropped stitches and adding extras. And I also didn't understand gauge or anything. And I was like, I'm going to make a scarf. The length of the needle seems like a good length for a width of a scarf. I'm just going to shove as many stitches as I can. It'll be the needle size. Nope, that's not how that works.
Next thing you know, she made a blanket.
And then I kept thinking that I dropped stitches, so I would add stitches, and it was just no. So I gave up because I felt like I couldn't understand it, and then started crocheting. And in order to do that, I watched some YouTube videos on like specific stitches. And then I was like always unsure where to put my hook. So then I took a class at the craft store. And it was like, I think it was like 2 or 3 hours just sitting at a random table in the middle of the crafts.
2 or 3 hours?
Yeah.
Holy.
It wasn't expensive. I think it was like $30. And I was like, yeah. So I learned like the basics. She explained to me. She kept telling me, relax, put your project down. You don't need it to be like a centimeter from your eyes. Like, you're going to get
Yes,
like
you
neck
do.
pain. Like, relax. And I was like, but it's so tight. She's like, that's what I mean. Relax. Now I understand what she meant. But yeah, so that's how I started.
Fun.
How did you start?
I started, well, my grandmother taught me how to knit when I was around 8 years old, and then I continued on and off, and then I self-taught how to crochet when I was probably in my early 20s.
Okay.
And then again, I watched a lot of videos on YouTube, like the ones that were available. Sorry, my cable. The ones that were available back then, they weren't that many, but you know, the basic enough for me to learn the basics.
Yeah.
And yeah, then again on and off, and I always had a passion for knitting and crochet. Like I was always trying to find something to do. And then at one point in university, I started selling hats, what I thought I could, and I was also doing loom hats, like the
Okay. Yeah.
the
Knitting looms?
the knitting looms, not the knitting machines.
No. The looms
with
where
the
you-
pegs and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I want to get back to that again, because the texture and the stitches that you can create with the loom are very, very nice, and I want to use them this year to make headbands.
Nice.
I used to do headbands before, and I really like them because the texture almost make like a double layer
Okay.
thing, so it's very thick, and you know, Canadian weather.
Yep.
But yeah, that's how I started.
Nice.
Now, what kind of levels, difficulty levels do we have?
I feel like we all start as beginners.
Yeah.
I don't know that I could call myself advanced. Like, I feel like at some point you have to be advanced if you're creating your own patterns and doing your own thing.
Yeah.
But I haven't done, like, in knitting, I haven't done lace work. I haven't done color work, which I know, don't look at me like that. No, I've never done the little hearts toque or whatever. I've never done color work.
What?
Never. You have this reaction every time I say it. But, like, so I would say, like, advanced intermediate. Like, I don't know that I could call myself, like, super advanced, but, like...
I think if I can give you my opinion, you're not asking for my opinion, but I'm giving it anyway.
Yeah, just give me your opinion.
I feel like you are... Was that cute?
Yes. A little achoo coming from upstairs, guys.
I feel like you are advanced in what you know.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes. That makes sense. Yeah, because that's the thing, too. Like, you can know all the techniques but not master them.
Yeah.
Or you can have done all the techniques but not master them. Like, I can do German short rows.
I cannot.
I can, like, there's... Yeah.
I don't even know what that was. Like, I don't know how many.
Yeah, this is where she gave up on one of her projects. She's like, it's a German something I gave up.
What is this?
I was like, it's not that hard once you try. She was like, nope. But yeah, like I've done that knitting wise, crochet wise. I feel like I'm advanced in crochet. I feel like I can kind of do anything.
Yeah, same.
I feel like crochet is a lot easier.
Yeah.
Once you know, it's a lot easier.
Once you know, you know.
Though I find crochet pattern a lot more confusing than knitting, because knitting, your stitches are all on your needles. So you're working with whatever's on your needles no matter what. Whereas in crochet, you could put 4 in one stitch and then skip 2 and then so you have to pay so much more attention.
And also the shorts.
The what?
The charts.
Yes, the chart. No, I don't understand crochet charts. That's true.
You do not?
I've never looked at one. I mean,
you
if I actually
serious?
sit down and like read the written pattern and like look at the chart, it makes sense to me. I can make it make sense. But if I look just at a chart like that, honestly, if you gave me like 15 minutes, I could probably figure it out. But
Oh my God.
it doesn't, like, to me, I'm not like, I can obviously see the shape and see what it's doing because it's very
Yeah.
clearly drawn.
Yeah.
But if you were to like give me only a chart with the legend and be like, do this, I don't know that I could.
I'm pretty sure you would figure it out, but
I would. It would take me a while.
I'm the opposite. Like, I see the chart and I can, like, give me charts. Don't
Yeah.
give me the reading instructions. I want the chart because it's so much faster for me and easier. I can just see it and I know exactly what I need to do. I don't want to be reading instructions. Like, again, that goes back to because I'm impatient. I don't want to have to be reading to know one row if I can just see it in the chart and just
Yeah.
instantly do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, for
I'm a
sure.
very visual person, like very, very. So
Sorry, guys, just flipping the page of my pattern here.
I consider myself not same as you. What I was saying, an advance in what I know
Yeah.
and what I master.
I think
I'm
that's the
not-
best way to describe it. I
Yeah.
think from what I've mastered and from what you've mastered, we can kind of do anything
Yeah.
with nothing held back.
Mm-hmm.
But there's stuff that we both haven't made or haven't, techniques that we haven't done, even though we've been doing this for so many years.
I think both of us combined, we probably have done everything, no?
I would think so. Because everything I haven't done, I know you've done. And everything I think you haven't done, I think I've done.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Combined,
Yeah,
I think we pretty
combined,
much
yeah.
have done everything.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it can be in any age. And a reason for that is that, exactly, there's a bunch of difficulty levels.
Oh, yeah.
There's easy stuff. There's complicated stuff that you can make. So no matter your pattern, you can use the finest yarn. You can use the thickest yarn. You can use, make a scarf that's just a simple rectangle. Or you can make the most intricate color work, lacy scarf in the world.
Yeah.
It doesn't, like, it's a scarf is a scarf. You can still knit or crochet no matter how simple or how complicated it is.
Yeah.
But one thing that I find funny, even though crochet in knitting is becoming very trendy, or though I feel like it's kind of slowing down a little bit, but like it's been very
In the
trendy.
pandemic, it was
It was like,
huge. Yeah.
I mean, it was like make
And
your own sourdough bread, fight for toilet paper, knit and crochet.
Everybody needed to find something to do at home, right?
Yeah.
And I was telling okay, so continue with your idea before you lose it.
Yeah, but it was like, no matter how trendy it is or how popular it is, like, I find it so funny because if you knit or crochet in public, I think every single time I've done it, someone has come up to me and was like, but you're so young to be knitting or crocheting.
Yeah.
And it's like, A, I'm probably older than you think I am.
Yeah.
B,
What do you think I make?
what do you mean?
Only granny squares?
Yeah. Crochet and knitting can be very trendy. Like,
Oh,
what
yeah.
are you talking about? I'm
And
too
I
young.
love-
There's no age.
I love the videos that have been going around of people saying like what you think I make versus what I actually make.
Yeah.
So every time somebody says like, "Oh, I knit and crochet," and they're like, "Oh, so what?" Even when people ask me like, "What do you do?" and I tell them like, "What do you do for a living?" and I'm like, "Oh, I'm a content creator." "Oh, and what do you do?" "I just teach how to knit and crochet," and they're like, "Oh, like what do you teach?" I'm like, "What to make, pretty much anything that comes to my mind."
To go with that, I often like, oh, I'm making this, I'm going to sell them. And they're like, oh, you sell your stuff? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, you must not make very much money. And I'm like, well, I just started selling, but I'm like, my friend Danny does this for a living. Like, that is her job, period.
Yeah.
And people are like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
Enjoy this mind blown moment.
Yeah. Boom. But yeah, so like it's crazy because we all get those comments sometimes whenever we're knitting in public.
Especially like I remember when we used to have knit night every Monday, And
The old ladies.
yeah, older ladies are just like stunned, especially when there's a bunch of us. Like it's noticeable in a cafe when there's like 10, 20s and 30-year-old ladies sitting together doing the same thing. Everybody's just like, whoa. People will just come over and stare and be like, no, keep going. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
And watch
Ignore
us.
me.
But I find it funny too. Like kids are mesmerized by it.
Oh, yeah.
I was at the airport and I knit when I have to take a flight or whatever. And this little 5-year-old was being like super rambunctious and then noticed that I was knitting and just stood and watched me. And then I was like, I'm really sorry. Is he bothering you? And I was like, no, he can watch. That's fine. And I think for like 20 minutes, he was just like watching me like, whoa. It is the coolest thing. It's like he was jumping everywhere going crazy. And then it stopped him in his track and he was just like mesmerized.
I know. It is for sure trending. And I was telling Nat before we started recording that I have seen the trend of knitting and crochet grow.
Yeah.
As the years go by, because
you started before it was
trendy. Before it was trendy. Yeah. I started my YouTube channel, my Spanish YouTube, at the end of 2014, the beginning of 2015, and there were fewer channels about the subject, and that's when Instagram was just a baby, and you used to post the pictures with the funny filters that they had, and the colors.
Every picture had a full what am I trying to say, a filter.
Yeah.
Every picture had a filter, and it was like not a light filter. It was like the frame and the full like vintage look. And like,
the whole vintage look. Yeah. So that's when I started, and I've seen Instagram change. I've seen the community grow. I've seen people starting making more videos and more content, and it's just becoming this huge thing. And I love that everybody is making different projects and being so creative and showing the world that this is not just your grandmother making you a baby sweater.
And I feel like it's not just about knitting, crocheting. I feel like there was a whole switch, especially like with the pandemic and everything, that like back to homemade is actually worthy. For a while, homemade was like, oh, you're cheap, you didn't want to spend something, so you made it. Yeah. But like now more and more people are kind of starting to change their mindset and understanding that home or handmade rather than homemade, handmade is actually worthy. It's someone that took so much time and effort and like took the time to master this skill to create something for you, Yeah.
But yeah.
And like just to go back to like the how it could be at any age, like a funny thing is like I taught Eric's, well, I didn't really do anything. Eric's grandma knows how to knit, but not crochet. But she's 90 and she's got Alzheimer's, so I can't, like, as much as she would love for me to teach her to crochet, like it would kind of be pointless because she would forget it by the next time we try. So we've kind of steered her away from it. But she knits. She still knits at 90 with Alzheimer's, and amazingly, she makes these baby vests, like baby sweaters. Well, they're supposed to be babies. I think she forgets her stitch counts. They're more like for 5-year-olds. But like she makes it in panels. Boat sleeves are exactly the same. Boat front panels are exactly the same. And I'm amazed that she does it all from memory. She has the pattern memorized. She's done so many of them because every single kid that came across her in her life has had one of these.
Oh, that's so
sweet.
sweet.
Yeah, it's very cute. But like she's 90, she has Alzheimer's, and she still manages to make matching panels and matching sleeve, and it's amazing. And then Eric's mom wanted to learn. She thought it was interesting because every time we go over, I just bring my knitting and my crochet, and I'm sitting on the couch and I'm doing it. And so she wanted to learn. So I kind of taught her a little bit of the basics of crochet and knitting, and then she like Google and found YouTube videos because one night she wanted to continue and I wasn't around, and so she just figured it out. And then oftentimes she'll ask me like, oh, I don't know this. Like,
Did you show her my videos?
No, because she doesn't understand English. She only speaks French, so I can't. But so she'll be like, oh, this part in the video is like too quick. I don't know what they did or whatever. And so I'll watch the video and obviously understand it because I know
everything.
what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And so I can kind of help her and correct her. But yeah, so like she tried to do a knit night mostly for Eric's grandma to be able to like get out of the house and see other people. Because where we live is an older community. We kind of thought maybe older ladies would join. It didn't really work. Also, it was like 2 weeks, which is not long enough to have people to join.
Yeah.
But I literally sat like me in my generation with my baby in my belly with Eric's mom and Eric's grandma, and we all knitted and crocheted together. So like there's no age for knitting and crocheting.
Yeah.
No matter, and like there's no age to start. Like
No.
Eric's mom started, and like I don't even know how old she is, but she's like the age of my parents, you know? So she's like close to 60. And she just started. You started when you were super young.
Yeah.
I started in between that. Like Eric's grandma, I don't know how long she's been knitting, but she's 90 and has Alzheimer's and still knits.
Yeah.
So like there's really no age to start or to learn.
Yeah, my grandma was so excited whenever she taught me how to knit, because she literally showed me once and I picked it up so quickly. And I remember I sent my dad that same day to the yarn store to get me needles. And back then there were these gray long knitting needle, the straight needles.
Yes. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
And I remember exactly, my yarn was a navy blue. And
which is not a good color to start with.
I know. And it was probably worsted weight too, so also not good to start, but
not bad. But
I mean, no, but it could have been.
It could have been better.
So, so he went and got it for me, and I remember I made a scarf. I wish so bad I had the project that I made when I was younger.
Okay, guys, if you're starting knitting, keep your first project, even though it's ugly, even though it makes no sense. I wish I had kept my first super wide wonky scarf. Just to show how far I've come.
Did you ever made something that you still wish you had other than your scarf?
I don't know.
I made a bag, like a school bag, when I was in. So we don't use. Sorry. We don't use the same like grades, I guess, here and in Chile.
Okay.
But I think it's probably like, how many years in high school is there here?
I mean, on the Quebec side, there's 5. It's different, I think, in Ontario.
And here 4?
I don't know.
Okay, if there's 4, let's say, it would be probably like the 2nd grade of high school.
Okay.
I made knitting squares, and I
like granny square. Oh no, you knit squares. Okay,
yeah, they were knitting, because I didn't know how to crochet then. So I knit a bunch of colorful squares, and I sew them to blah 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 blah.
Sewed.
What sewed?
Sewed?
No.
Sewed? No.
No. I joined them together.
Yeah, perfect.
And I made a bag, and I made a lining for the bag. I
attached it.
Guys, we have a French speaking and a Spanish speaking here.
Trying to speak English. This is what happens sometimes.
But I made the lining. I knitted the bag, put it together, and created a bag for my books. And I also knitted the straps, and quickly realized that with the weight of my books, the straps wouldn't like stretch. And I was like, oh, no. So what I did was I made I like a tube with fabric that I put inside the strap. So I made this strap like a tube.
Like a tube, but then you slid fabric inside.
Yeah, and then I slid fabric inside, and the fabric was attached to the lining inside. So the knitting part was basically just
for show.
Exactly,
and
just to
support.
cover the whole thing. And it was so
And you got rid of
nice.
that?
I don't know how I came up with that. Like, don't ask me. This is back in 2008, probably, something like
So
that.
pattern coming next week.
Oh my gosh, I wish so bad that I kept that bag.
Do you have pictures of it?
I don't.
You must. I'm sure if you ask your mom at some point, she must have taken a picture of you with it or something.
Oh, I don't know, because back then phones
Yeah, I
had
know.
cameras, but like not the greatest. And if you
Plus,
had
we
like a
didn't really
good
have a phone.
you were rich.
Yeah.
So I had phone. I don't know. I would have to go. I don't even think I would have one in my. I'm actually very like I kind of want to do it, but I'm not gonna do it right now. To see if I have any on my Facebook.
Yeah. You
But
should.
I don't think so. But oh my gosh, I wish so bad I had that bag, because it was a big size too, like a very. And I was Natalie, I was so proud of it.
Well, I can imagine.
So
it sounds amazing.
Proud of it. I brought it to school every single day, and I was even working on the squares at school. And I remember I had kids saying like, "Oh, are you a grandma?" Like trying to bully me into because I was knitting, but
Yeah.
I just didn't give a shit. Like I did not care whatsoever what they were saying to me, because I was so passionate and so into making this bag. And I was like, I just don't care. Like, screw you. I'm just gonna make my bag.
Say what you want.
And they were laughing, and I was just like, I'm sorry, but the one that's gonna have a cool bag is me, not you.
Exactly.
But I even made it had a pocket inside. It was cool.
That's
I
impressive.
wish I had it.
You should make another.
No. Now knowing what I know,
Yeah.
making a bag with knitting squares.
Do it in crochet.
Yeah, I could. That it would be so cute to like replicate it.
Yeah, you
'Cause
should.
I vividly remember how it looks in my head, but I don't have a physical picture or something.
Replicate it.
That would be so cute. I think I would cry if I.
Mission for the year.
And it was very colorful.
I'm giving you till the end of the year. You got this.
It was very colorful too.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's just not me anymore.
Make it colorful in your color palette. It's going to
Yeah.
be yellow.
Mustard,
Yeah, mustard yellow.
burnt orange,
Burnt orange.
just
Some, like,
pink.
Some dusty pink. Some white beige.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Cream.
Eh?
Cream.
Cream, yeah.
And I think the lining would be much better now. You know what? I didn't even have a sewing machine by then.
You
Everything was
hand-stitched it?
hand
Stitched.
stitch.
Hand stitch.
Hand stitch.
Don't go back to sew, whatever that is.
Everything was handmade. Everything. I didn't
That's
have a sewing
insane.
machine by then.
No, I didn't have that dedication at the beginning.
Oh, I love this so much. I was so passionate about that bag. Oh my gosh.
Well, once you start, it's very addicting.
Oh yeah.
I think.
Once you realize the
can
things
all
you can
attest to it.
make,
Yeah.
it's like
A whole new world.
might be poor.
Yeah, also.
Yeah. I'm so excited to show my kids how to knit and crochet. I hope they like it.
Although I might have to show Luca because he associates knitting and crochet with me and not you.
I know everything I make. He's like, Natalie? And I'm like, no, buddy. It's mommy's. Mommy also knits and crochet, okay?
Which is so funny because he barely sees me because we only knit and crochet after he's in bed.
Yeah. Did I tell you that he's seen one of my yarn and the label had a girl? And he was like, Natalie! No, but okay. We can,
mean-
it looks like her, but.
I mean, that would be my dream to have my face on the yarn label, but I mean,
I can't remember what yarn it was.
that's so funny.
But he was like, Natalie. I'm like, no.
He's so adorable.
But anyways, I feel like that's all for today's episode.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed. We were chatting a little, like we usually do.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No matter how old you are or how young you are,
Yeah.
or
To
how
recap.
old at heart you feel, or how young at heart you feel, knitting and crocheting can be for you.
Yeah.
Should
You
be
can
for
make
you.
anything, whatever you want.
Yeah.
There's so many resources out there nowadays, so many patterns, so many tutorials, so many free stuff. You just have to want to do it and start.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I hope you guys are I hope you guys are excited for the Market 101 series. It's coming very, very soon.
Yes.
And if you have any questions or whatever you want to tell us, you can email us at
dropastitchpodcast@gmail.com.
or you can leave your comments on
YouTube.
I was going to say Facebook.
I
What?
saw that you were going somewhere. I was like, YouTube. Spotify. You can listen.
You can listen on Spotify, Apple
Music.
Podcast.
Apple Podcast.
Apple
What do I always
Podcast.
say? You always say Shopify, and I always say Apple Music. It's Apple Podcast.
Apple Podcast.
Or
Google
anywhere else
Podcast,
where
whatever.
podcasts are
Yeah.
available.
And make sure to rate us 5 stars because that helps us to continue growing.
Yeah.
So yeah. Thank you guys for listening and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.